and I've run 21.4 in the 200 meters and 10.6 in the 100 meters. But there's been some major mistakes I've made along the way, and even resulted in me to having not the best season last season, as I did run a second slower in the 200 meters, only ran 22.4. But now I've been able to get back into that shape and been running 21.4 in the 200 meters again. These are some big lessons that I've learned from making that transition, from improving my time by a whole second. And I take it down to 3 main points. So the first point is not chasing numbers in the weight room. This is a massive mistake athletes make, because everyone, they just thinks, oh, you know, when they, they get fast without any weights, they think, oh, you know, I'm this fast without any weights. Imagine how much faster I can be if I can get stronger. But that is not the case. Speed is very complex, and you know, just saying, oh, just by getting stronger, it's going to make you faster. And it doesn't work like that. To get faster, you obviously have to run fast. You know, there's no substitute for increasing your speed by running fast. So just by lifting weights, it's not going to necessarily make you faster. Yes, it may make you stronger. You may be able to do a little bit more in training because you're less injury prone. However, it's not going to make you faster, and that's a big mistake, because then people always chase the numbers. Like, for example, with me, I literally had the same mindset. I was like, okay, you know, I've ran 21 I think my PB at the time was 21.8. I ran 21.8, and now, okay, I can get a bit of strength from me and I can run a lot faster. But I did end up running 21.8 again the season after, but I didn't run any faster than that. And one of the main things I did change was, okay, I did, you know, do a lot of strength training, but it didn't really translate onto the track. And one, mainly because I was lifting like a power lifter rather than sport specific, which I'll get onto in a sec. But I was just chasing the numbers. I was just trying to put on as much, you know, strength as I could. And that just, one, obviously, yes, I did get a lot stronger, but it did make me a lot more bulkier, and with that bulk, it actually made me a lot tighter and reduced my mobility. Because for me anyway, personally, I put on size, I'm quite naturally strong, so I put size on really easily. And you know, as I put on that size really easily, it happens really quickly. Your muscles tighten up, all like the ligaments and the tendons around it, and just makes your mobility really stiff. So this might happen to you as well, because even if you don't put size on quickly, if you do put on a lot of strength and then in turn put a lot of weight on, and if you do put that weight on, it will be muscle, because you know, you don't go to the gym and just gain fat. Like if you gain weight as an athlete and you're doing gym work, you're probably just putting muscle on. You don't have to probably worry about how fat you are, because you probably have a very high metabolism. So if you do put a lot of weight on, your tendons and your ligaments take time for that to catch up to the strength of your muscles, and which will in turn pull on all these tendons and ligaments, making you a lot tighter. And obviously that tightness is going to reduce your movement and your mobility, which will actually affect your stride length, your technique, because you're going to be a lot more, your muscles are going to be working a lot harder, because you've got a lot more muscles as well. So they've got to work harder to, you know, carry that weight through. But also because you're restricted in your movement, you can't get that nice flowy elastic stride. You're just really rigid and compact because you put so much size on and you reduce your mobility. So yeah, to counteract this, one of the biggest steps I would take is do not chase the weight, do not chase the numbers in the weight room. Do not try and get massive PRs in the gym. You know, the gym is to supplement your stuff on the track. It's not meant to replace it. So what I would do, and I'll get onto what exercises we should do in a sec, but the main thing I would focus on if you want to improve your speed and you want to get faster is to pick a few exercises that you think will benefit you the most, and find a weight that is good for your body and stick to that weight. And stick to that weight. Don't try and increase that weight loads, because again, you're just going to tighten up and put a lot of muscle mass. The main enemy as an athlete trying to run faster is hypertrophy. We do not want hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is where the muscles increase in size due to weight-bearing exercise. You can still, increase your, and that's the main reason for increasing your strength with hypertrophy. And yes, you can increase your strength and your speed without hypertrophy. And again, I'll get onto that in a sec. But for this main first point, I wouldn't chase the weights. I'll just focus on, okay, what weight can I use for my body weight, and just find that weight that works well for you within the rep range and stick to that weight, because your body's going to naturally adapt to that weight. It's going to use less muscle fibers to lift that same weight. So say, for example, I was doing deadlift, trap bar deadlift, and I was lifting 100 kg, and the next time I do it, my body wants to be more efficient, so it's actually going to use less muscle fibers it did the first time than the second time. So in turn, you're actually getting stronger without having to increase the weight, and then also without increasing the weight, you don't gain any more muscle, because your body doesn't need to compensate for that extra load. It's just becoming more efficient, which as a runner we need to be. We need to be more efficient when we run rather than being more dense and strong. So, and that is why it's so important to pick a weight. And if you're unsure of what weight you want to pick, I do have a link in the description where I do offer my coaching, and I can give you advice on what weight you should be using. But back to the video, the second point I would say is do sport-specific exercises. Don't just do ass to grass squats or conventional deadlifts. You probably don't really need that. As a sprinter or as an athlete that's trying to get faster, you need movements that will develop you in the positions that you want to replicate when you run. So for example, a hang power clean will replicate that triple extension movement when you're driving out from your initial sprint, or the half squat. You're going to get that nice 90-degree angle when you do get your squat down, and then you're able to explode upwards. Or, for example, a step up. Literally, you're in that running movement, you're stepping up, transferring that weight from one side of your body to another, which is literally sprinting. When you sprint, you literally transfer your weight from one side of your body to the other. So doing that in a different kind of context with the step up, it's going to be really beneficial to obviously you running faster. So that's the second tip I would say. So you don't need to do, I would say you can incorporate some of the conventional gym exercises, but you don't need all of them. For example, you could do some squats, proper deep squats, if you do need to build up your strength a little bit. Yes, I said before you shouldn't chase the numbers, but if you're just starting out, maybe I would do a week or two of just strength building, because obviously you're not going to be that strong. So if you do need to build your strength and you do need to fill up that strength bucket to get you to that next level, then I would focus on some conventional stuff. But once you've got a good foundation of strength, you don't need to have a crazy foundation of strength. But once you've got that bucket nicely filled of your strength, then you can focus on the more sport-specific movements. But then again, I don't think you even need the conventional stuff. We just need to strengthen the positions that you would replicate in a sprint. So we don't need to do all these powerlifting movements. I would include a bench press or something. Depends how many upper body exercises you do. You do need a strong upper body, because the main goal of your upper body when you're sprinting is to balance what's going on down here, because there's a lot of rotation and movement of the hips. So the hips are oscillating when you're running, so your arms are there to counteract that that force and that movement. So you do need strong arms to be able, and a strong core as well, to be able to keep your body in balance when your legs are moving, your hips are rotating when you're running. So yeah, you do need some upper body strength. So maybe I would do some bench press. You could do incline bench. You could just do press ups really. if that's what suits you. Or you could just do some rows or some pull-ups, just some basic stuff. I wouldn't do loads of upper body stuff. Again, I wouldn't do loads of gym exercises, but those are some things I would incorporate. So yeah, so far we have don't chase the numbers in the weight room, do sport-specific exercises, and finally, what I would say is making sure you get the right rep ranges to hit the right stimulus you need. So for example, if you're trying to increase your strength, I wouldn't do any more than 3 reps in a set. Like, you don't need to go any more than that, because then that's going to build up that hypertrophy. We want to get to that limit where we can get enough benefit from the exercise before we go over the limit. Because basically, as an athlete that's trying to improve your speed, you're trying to fill up all the different buckets. Imagine you have all these different buckets. One's got jumping or plyometrics. So you say you've got strength, you've got speed, you've got mobility, you've got ankle reactivity, and you're just trying to fill up all these buckets. Once you get to a certain level, there's going to be one bucket you need to fill up more to get to that next level than another bucket. So that's like I was saying with the strength. You don't want to overflow the strength bucket, because then you actually might need some mobility because you're all tight, or some ankle reactivity because you've changed all the muscle fibers in your ankle to be more slow twitch to compensate for that grinding heavy weight rather than being fat and reactive. But getting back to my point, we want to be like a doctor with the gym, and we want to be like, okay, what can I do that's just enough to get the reaction I want from the athlete? So these are the kind of the baselines I would say for rep ranges in the gym. So if you want to increase like your strength and you're doing like a half squat, you're doing some trap bar deadlift, you're doing a bench press, you're doing a hang clean, and you want to do it like as heavy as you can, still getting that power, I wouldn't do any more than 3 sets of 3 reps. That will probably be the best for building your strength. For exercise like plyometrics in the gym, I would maybe do like 2 sets of 4 or 3 sets of 4, no more than 4, because you still want to have that high quality explosiveness. And yes, even though you're not moving any weight with the plyometrics, it's still going to take a lot out of you, because you're going to be producing as much force as you can. So that's what I would focus on. And then any accessory lifts, really, like core work, or any just like recruiting the little muscles, I would say about like 12 to 20 reps for really small group areas. So that could be like your core, your obliques, maybe like your back to keep your good posture, keep those shoulders back, because again, you do need good posture and mobility as a sprinter. So having being able to retract your back, having a good posture. So things that are postural, I would say like 12 to 20 reps. But yeah, and then if you're just trying to build some stability as well, so you're doing like an RDL or something, I'll do no more than 2 sets of 6 or maybe 3 of 5 or something like that. I wouldn't do too many stuff. So that's kind of the main thing. And if you're unsure of how many reps and sets you do, again, I have my link in the description if you did want to work with me, and I can set you a program, or you can use a program I've already set. Or if you don't want to commit to a program just yet, I do have a link in the description with a free program. So if you did want to check that out, and also I'll give you daily advice in your inbox, and also that we have a free community as well. And make sure get to the mindset of the gym is not meant to replace the speed, it's meant to supplement it. Those are the main things I'll take away. Peace.